Hey guys, what's up? It's Stephanie Lala. I promised you guys that I would do a pregnancy Q&A, and well, I'm 37 weeks pregnant now, so I figure if I'm gonna do it, I need to do it now. All right, anyway, so I have a list of questions from you guys that I'm gonna answer. So I am currently 37 weeks pregnant, and I'm having a little boy, naming him Onyx Michael. He's due January 29th. He's a little chunk. He's measuring like 3 weeks ahead, so I really could have the baby at like any time. I guess it's possible that like mid-video I'll be like, gotta go. So I found out I was pregnant, it was like middle of June, and I was eating with one of my friends, and I was like, well, I haven't had my period in a couple months, so it wasn't a wild time in my life. I was very busy. I was like, it's very, very slim chance, but I think I might be pregnant. And she's like, well, you need to take a test. Like, nah, probably not gonna happen. Like, I never wanted kids, like, ever. My life's very spur of the moment and spontaneous and whatever. Back in my mind, I started thinking like, well, that'd be kind of cool if I was, like, you know, I'd have a little best friend. Like, I remember thinking that, like, so we went to, I think, Walgreens and bought a pregnancy test, and I took it. Long story short, I had to find out I took a pregnancy test, and it said I was pregnant. But the reason I took it is because I hadn't had my period in a few months. My initial reaction, like I said, I kind of in the back of my mind was like, this will be really cool, you know? But I also was like, what the hell? Like, my life can't handle this. I always said that if I ever got pregnant, that I would have an abortion, like no questions asked, unless I was like in a very committed relationship, and I wasn't at this point. It was a very, 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 very hard decision to make, but I had so many supportive people in my corner. I had friends that have had abortions that have had a really hard time with it, and I had friends that have kids that are like, you know, it'll change your life, whatever, and my family was very excited about it, so I just was like, okay, let's do this. I decided to keep him, I guess, if that's how you want to say it. Now that I have like an actual human inside me, it's kind of weird to say like keep or not keep. It kind of seems insensitive. But coming from a person that, you know, my previous mindset, that's how it was. So I found out I was pregnant at 7 weeks and 3 days is when I had my first ultrasound. And then I announced it on Facebook to like my personal Facebook, my friends and family, when I was about 10 weeks. It was like 4th of July weekend. I decided to post it on social media right around 16 weeks after my gender reveal. I posted my gender reveal video, and that was kind of like my way of announcing it. I had mostly positive feedback from my followers. There were a lot of people that were kind of confused and a little bit hateful, but I just kind of blocked those people. I mentioned it on like Tumblr and like my personal followers before that, because some of you guys may know I've done this for like 10 years. If you look on this YouTube channel, there's literally a video from like 2007 with all these fake accounts, blah, 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 blah. Like, I've been doing this forever. Obviously, I kind of lost a little bit of, not necessarily my following, like my Instagram's kind of stayed the same, but my Snapchat views have gone from almost 100,000 to like 20,000 right now. But it hasn't bothered me. I'm actually like really like mentally enjoying that, because I can go on there and be myself, and I don't have to worry about like, oh, this is what people want to see on Snapchat. Like, this is what I have to do to entertain. The whole experience, honestly, brought me back to where I built my platform, or whatever you want to call it. I've always been very, very open about my life, so it was kind of a weird moment, like having something so personal and wanting to share it and not being able to. Once I did post it online, I got a little bit of negative feedback. It was just mostly a lot of like inappropriate questions. I had to like shut it down. You can't have any stress with baby and stuff. I wanted to focus on my inner circle of friends and family and all that. I didn't have any negative feedback at all from my family. I've posted some reaction videos on his Instagram, so you guys have probably seen when I told my grandparents and stuff. Everyone was very supportive. The only people that weren't were like a few people that were involved in my like plans to move to Vegas and stuff, and were like, you need to worry about you, girl, you know, whatever. But like, if you've ever been pregnant, you know there's this immediate like bond that you feel, and it's just something that I was like, nothing really else compares to that right now. Like, That's actually a really funny thing, because as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I went on all these like tattoo sites and stuff, and I bought all this, like, you could call it gender neutral, but it's very boyish, you know, like black t-shirts, you know, I love my mom and her tattoos kind of stuff. I actually originally wanted a boy. 12-week appointment, the doctor told me that they thought it was a girl. So I got all excited, and I bought all this like girl shit, like little juicy outfits and stuff. Well, then at my gender reveal, I popped the balloon and it's blue. And I was just like, who did this? Who put blue in my balloon? Like, this is wrong. And I was so heartbroken because, you know, for a month I'd had this like vision of like holding a little girl. And then when I went through my clothes and I was sorting out like what was girl and what was boy, I was like, oh, I like my boy clothes better. But this kid has the raddest fucking closet, and I'm so glad he's a little boy. The boy name was really, really, really hard to pick. I had a girl name instantly because for like 10 years, I've always said I would name my girl like the boy's middle name and my middle name, like the dad. In this case, I'm obviously I know who the dad is and stuff, but it's not like involved. He's all moving around right now. So I did my dad and my mom's middle names and put them together, which is Michael and Lynn. So McKaylin. And then I wanted her middle name to be like after some kind of crystal or something. So I was looking up online like different meanings behind crystals and their healing powers and stuff. And I noticed that jade was used for like new beginnings. So I decided that if it was a boy, I was gonna name him Jaden Michael. I wanted to incorporate my grandma's middle name in there because she committed suicide when I was like 7. And since I recovered from the whole suicide thing, like it was kind of a big deal to me. And I felt like the baby was kind of like my reason like why I stayed around kind of thing. Her middle name was Kay, and so I was like, oh my god, Kaden, that's perfect. And I'd never heard the name before. I thought it was so perfect. I was so happy about it, and it gave me like butterflies, and I was like, oh shit, I think I'm having a boy, because it just like hit. So I decided on the name Caden Michael. Well, as soon as I posted it online, it was like constant. That's my cousin's name, that's my kid's name, that's my neighbor's name, like all over the place. And I started looking up online, and I realized that it was in the top 100 names, and that this year it's top 10 rising names. And I was like, okay, can't. And so I went back to the list of crystal names, and I saw onyx on there, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so happy, because it's one of my favorite stones, but it was just too manly to use for a girl name. So I went with the name onyx because it's a stone used for deflecting negative energy and like protection against like evil and all that stuff. I felt like he was kind of, you know, some kind of positive light that came out of everything. I actually got an onyx ring for Christmas, and I'm really excited about it. It's so pretty. The middle name is like a family passed down. Like my dad's middle name is Michael, and my like uncle and my cousin. So I kept the name Michael in there for that reason. He's so awake right now. He's just wiggling around. It's so funny. As far as cravings and symptoms and shit, I haven't had any cravings. Like, my favorite foods pre-pregnancy were pancakes, french fries, and fucking I liked pickles and whatever. I mean, I never had any morning sickness. The only negative like symptom I've experienced is like if I'm out and like standing in line too long, like, or if I lay down wrong for too long, then I get really lightheaded and kind of black out and like pass out basically. It's happened 3 or 4 times where I didn't like fall over, but I literally couldn't see, and it's the scariest thing ever. I get really hot easily. I'm always burning up. It's fucking like 20 degrees outside, and I could walk out there like this and be fine probably. This chair is so squeaky. Yeah. Annoying. Sorry. For me, like I said, I always lived a very spontaneous life, and this is obviously something like a very serious commitment. Like, I'm responsible for another human's life. Like, I can hardly take care of myself. I'm not worried about being a bad role model or anything, but just having to provide for not only myself, but another human. I mean, I have help from family right now, but I mean, that's not gonna be that way forever. I just honestly think like when I meet him that I'm gonna fall so in love with him, and I haven't experienced that like true love like feeling in years, and so I'm really looking forward to replacing that emotion in my life, because it was just really hard. Like I felt like I was never gonna like experience that again, and I just think that this is gonna like blow that out of the water, making me cry a little bit, but I just really think that he's gonna make everything else that I've gone through in my life seem so like insignificant. So if you need something lighter, because I'm excited about his closet. Don't plan on having more kids though. I think that he's gonna be plenty enough to keep me satisfied and busy in life. I mean, you never know. If I end up meeting somebody and getting married and, you know, they want to have a kid together, then maybe. But right now, I mean, I don't want kids. I'm just saying, if there was like a family situation there, then possibly. But as far as just popping out random babies, like, that's definitely not in my plan. Yes, I do plan to continue modeling, especially once, like, probably later this year, like after I have a minute to kind of like bond with him and, you know, get used to the whole mom thing. My mom said that she would watch him on the weekends if I wanted to fly out to go shoot or something like that. So as soon as I get back in shape and everything, I am definitely planning on doing more photo shoots. It's definitely not something I'm giving up on. My modeling image may be slightly different. It might not be as like sexual, but I'm still going to do like implied tattoo shoots and stuff. But I will probably focus more on like my painting and focus more on being a mom. My goals are just a little bit different now. Like, instead of having a goal to reach 100,000 followers this year or something, like, my goal is to take him places and have him experience things. I think this year might be a little too early for him, but I want to experience things with Onyx more so than growing on social media on my own. Like, I just want to share our journey with you guys. I'm definitely going to continue modeling, just not like full time, but social media, I'm not going anywhere on social media. I will still be sharing everything with y'all because I've been doing it for 10 years and I love you. You guys sent a lot of questions in asking about what my plans were as far as labor goes, like C-section or regular, and like breastfeeding and all these like kind of personal, more in-depth questions, and I may post a video about that stuff after labor, but right now I just wanted to keep it kind of simple of my like initial reactions and where the name came from and stuff like that. So I love you guys so much, and thanks for watching, and I will post a new video soon.